Most people think they're going to fall behind because AI is going to take their job. That's not the real threat. The real threat is quieter, and most people won't see it until it's already done. Here's the question nobody's asking. What happens to the people who use AI, but use it wrong? Because that's the majority. And in 2026, the gap between them and everyone else is about to become very visible, very fast. Picture two analysts. Same company, same job title, same salary. For now. Analyst A uses ChatGPT every day, asks it to write emails, summarize reports, draft presentations, feels more productive, maybe even proud. Their manager sees the output. It's fine. Clean, fast, passable, but it's also the same output the AI would produce for anyone who typed the same prompt. No edge, no perspective, no judgment. Analyst A doesn't notice. They're hitting every deadline. But what they've actually done is become very efficient at producing work that requires no real thinking, which means it provides no real leverage. Analyst B uses AI to think faster, to stress test conclusions, to find the angle nobody else saw. 2 hours of research becomes 20 minutes, and the extra 90 goes toward actually making decisions. When a competitor makes a move nobody predicted, Analyst B has already modeled 3 scenarios and walked into their manager's office with a recommendation. Analyst A sent a summary of the news. The difference isn't talent. It's not even effort. It's what each person believes the tool is for. One believes AI is a shortcut, the other treats it as a force multiplier for their own thinking. That belief gap is what's going to separate people over the next 18 months. 6 months later, Analyst A is doing the same work, just faster. Analyst B got promoted. Same tool, completely different outcome. Here's what's actually happening. AI is compressing time. Work that used to take a week now takes a day now takes an hour. But when everyone gets the same time compression, the output stops being the advantage. The advantage shifts to judgment. Who decided what to ask? Who knew which answer to trust? Who caught the AI's mistake before it shipped? Who used the extra time to build something instead of producing more of the same? Judgment looks like this. Knowing the AI's market analysis is missing a regulatory variable it couldn't have known about. Noticing that the report it generated is technically accurate but framed in a way that would alarm investors unnecessarily. Deciding which of the 5 options it produced is worth pursuing, and why. It also looks like this. Your team uses AI to generate a competitive analysis. It looks thorough, but you notice it's pulling from data that's 18 months old in a market that moved last quarter. You catch it, you make the right call. The person next to you just sent a flawed strategy to the executive team. That's not an AI skill, that's a thinking skill. And most people aren't developing it. AI doesn't make you more valuable, it makes everyone faster. What makes you more valuable is what you do with the time you just got back. Let's talk about money, because this plays out in income too. Freelance rates for writers, designers, coders, some are getting crushed, down 30, 40, 50% in certain markets. But look at the ones whose rates went up. They exist. Not many, but they're real. What's different? They stopped selling output, they started selling judgment. Not, I'll write your blog post, but I'll figure out what it should actually say, who it should say it to, and why it will convert, then produce it in a fraction of the time. One copywriter raised her rate by 40% this year. Her pitch wasn't, I use AI. It was, I used to spend 60% of my time writing. Now I spend 60% of my time understanding your customer. And the writing reflects that. Her clients aren't paying for words. They're paying for the insight behind them. Meanwhile, writers competing on price are in a race they cannot win. A client who wants cheap content can get it from AI for almost nothing. If your value proposition is volume and speed, you're already obsolete. The only move is to offer what the model cannot: context, strategic intent, accountability for outcomes, which requires knowing more about the client's business than they might know themselves. The people falling behind are selling time and deliverables. The people pulling ahead are selling outcomes and decisions. Here's where it gets uncomfortable, because this doesn't just apply to freelancers or knowledge workers. This applies to how you consume information, how you make decisions, how you think. AI is compressing the information gap. Things that used to take a college degree to understand, supply chain economics, tax strategy, investment structures, you can now get a working understanding of in an afternoon. Well, that's extraordinary, and almost nobody is using it that way. Most people are using AI to skip thinking. A small group are using AI to think better. If you use AI to get answers faster, you might be getting dumber faster. You're outsourcing the part of learning that builds capability, the struggle, the synthesis, the judgment call. If you use it to ask better questions, challenge your assumptions, explore the parts of a problem you'd have ignored, you're compounding your own intelligence. A practical example, instead of asking AI, "What should I invest in?" ask it to steelman the opposite of your investment thesis. Find the 3 strongest arguments against the decision you've already made. That's using it as a thinking partner, and it will make you sharper every time. Or use it to learn a domain you've always avoided. Spend 40 minutes asking it to explain options pricing from scratch. Ask it to quiz you. Ask where your understanding still has gaps. That feedback loop used to require a mentor, a course, and 3 months. Now it takes an afternoon, if you engage seriously instead of just asking for the short answer. One path leads somewhere very good. The other leads to dependency without growth. In 2026, the labor market isn't going to split between AI users and non-AI users. It's going to split between people who adapted their thinking and people who only adapted their tools. Companies already know this. Some firms are paying AI-fluent employees 2-3 times what they were making 2 years ago, while quietly removing entire teams using AI to do the same things cheaper. The people getting paid more aren't just prompting better. They're thinking clearer, catching what others miss, irreplaceable because their judgment is running the AI, not the other way around. The people being cut let AI run them. They became faster executors of other people's thinking, and that's a job that's very easy to automate. Think of AI as leverage, not replacement. Leverage multiplies force, but if you have no force to begin with, no judgment, no taste, no real understanding of how things work, leverage just gets you to 0 faster. The people winning share one thing. They use AI to go further, not just faster. They're taking on problems they couldn't touch before, making decisions at a quality level that used to require a team. They started by asking a different question, not "What can I get AI to do for me?" but "What can I now understand, build, or decide that I couldn't before?" That shift is small. The compounding is enormous. Most people are going to look back at 2026 as the year the gap opened, not because AI took over, but because some people used the window, and most didn't even realize there was one. You're watching this video. You have access to the exact same tools as anyone else. The question isn't whether AI will change things. It already has. The question is whether you're using it to move forward or just to move faster in place.